In August 2017, the Right to Counsel New York City Coalition campaign passed the local law 136, also known as the Right to Counsel. The legislation grants a low-income residents from certain zip codes of New York City the right to an attorney when facing evictions in housing courts. After a 3-year fight, New York City was the first in America to pass the law.
The Right to Counsel grew out of a campaign that we started in January of 2012 here at the Community Actions for Safe Apartment CASA site at 35 Marcy Place. Early in 2012, when we took the vote here at one of our meetings, Housing Court campaign won by one vote. That's how tight that voting process was.
In March 2013, the coalition gathered a report known as Tipping the Scale, which showed how tenants were affected when going into housing court without legal representation.
When I was taken to court in January 2010, I thought I was going to get appointed an attorney as I would in criminal court, and that wasn't the case. What I was told was a pro se. I had to go home and look up what's a pro se tenant. Pro se tenant meant someone that didn't have a landlord, an attorney appointed to them to help dispute the case with the landlord's attorney.
Rivera shares her experience of what was like facing an eviction in housing court prior to the passage of the Right to Counsel law.
When you went to housing court, you're on your own. You have a piece of paper that you're given that you have to report 5 days in advance. It's called the Notice of Petition. It's a white card. You have to go to a certain window, but no one's there to help you, to give you information, to give you a brochure. We needed the tenants' voices to be heard, that in fact, we needed legal representation in housing court if we were to stop eviction, reduce eviction, and stop displacing tenants who live not only in the Bronx, but to live citywide.
Raven Dorantes, manager attorney at the Urban Justice Center, states that as one of the legal service providers, they create their own system. The overwhelming number of eviction cases are often due to late payment of rent.
Leaning on the side of non-payments. We see a lot more non-payments for obvious reasons. These are low-income populations, so it's a lot easier for a landlord to bring somebody to court based off of the fact that someone was late a couple months. Maybe people fall on hard times. Many people in New York, even if you're not low-income, are living paycheck to paycheck. So it is very conceivable that the minute a child gets sick, somebody winds up in the hospital, whatever the case may be, you're going to fall behind on rent. And these populations are very vulnerable to eviction proceedings because the real estate is very valuable and it's ripe for gentrification right now.
Although every zip code is not included, tenant leaders from the Northwest Bronx Community Clergy and Coalition still encourage residents outside of the area to reach out to local tenant rights groups, since they can potentially improve their housing conditions outside the law.
We also do a little announcement. And we let people know if you are in one of 4 zip codes, 10462, 10468, 10467, 10457. If you're in one of those zip codes, you have access to our free legal services. And we let people know that they have to come and fill out an intake with us. We do the intake process with them on site.
The others will come year by year. As I mentioned, it's a 5-year plan. What I'm hearing and what my understanding is initially was that we needed an implementation period. The implementation is a 5-year period that by 2022, all zip codes would have the right to counsel.
According to the key findings outside of a report entitled New York City Right to Counsel, First-Year Results and Potential for Expansion, statistics have proved that this law is in fact responsible for more than 60% of the overall decline in evictions in New York City. This law hopes to change the lives of New York City tenants by keeping their families home and preventing homelessness. This is Diana Camillo reporting for BronxNet.